On May 6th, late into the night, Israeli forces began their invasion of Rafah in southern Gaza, a place where more than 1 million people have been forced to seek refuge. The Israeli government said the military operation in Rafah would be limited. So did the US. Our investigation reveals it is anything but.
They haven't gone into the population centers. What they did is right on the border.
Israel and its American ally have repeatedly said that the Rafah operation is limited. President Biden also said that US shipments of military equipment would end if Israel launched a major ground invasion of Rafah. Elijah Manier, a military and political analyst, believes that a ground invasion has already started.
A limited operation means an operation hitting specific targets and precise objectives. On the contrary, what we are seeing on the ground, we have a whole Israeli division plus a mechanic battalion pushed into the Rafah area. On top of that, we have a carpet bombing of many areas, even in open spaces or in confined spaces.
Al Jazeera's digital investigation team, Sanad, has analyzed satellite pictures and geolocated videos of the Israeli military advances. This picture, taken on May 3rd, shows a logistical road leading into Rafah. A second image reveals around 300 military vehicles along the border with Rafah. This is East Rafah on May 6th, the day Israeli forces entered the city. Buildings are still standing. By May 22nd, we see widespread destruction, leveling and clearing. At this point, Israeli forces have seized control of 22% of Rafah. Houses and land within 1 kilometer of the Egyptian border, known as the Philadelphia Corridor, have also been destroyed and cleared. On May 29th, Israeli forces announced that they had completely taken over the Philadelphia Corridor.
Hamas turned the Philadelphia route into a central Hamas hotbed of terror. We have now gained operational control over the Philadelphia route in Rafah.
So how did the Israeli military do it? They increased the number of brigades operating in Rafah from 2 to 6 in less than 3 weeks. According to analysis of satellite images taken on May 29, 258 vehicles can be seen in Rafah. Compared with Khan Yunis, one of the largest offensive operations in Gaza, Israel began with 4 brigades and ultimately had 8 brigades at the height of its operation. This is what was left of Khan Yunis after 3 months. Manier compares the Rafah operation to what we saw at the start of the war.
First is the destruction of the hospitals and medical facilities. The Israeli occupation forces have done that in the north, in the south, and in Rafah. Secondly is indiscriminate killing of civilians. Third is using dumb bombs. He's not using precise bombs and intelligent bombs provided by the Americans. And fourth, we've seen how the Israeli army is destroying buildings that have been already evacuated, only to flatten the area and to destroy more infrastructure that will be much harder on the Palestinian to reconstruct. He has done that in the north, in the south, and in Rafah.
Israel's military invasion of Rafah has caused so much concern that on May 24th, the International Court of Justice, the UN's top court, ordered Israeli forces to stop because of the immediate risk to civilians. They did not. On May 26th, an Israeli missile struck the Tal al-Sultan camp. Israel said it was aiming for these 2 tents, where they say 2 Hamas officials were hiding. Israel hit the target. The impact of the missile was catastrophic. At least 45 people, many of them women and children, were killed. People seeking refuge here were not given a warning to evacuate ahead of the attack. Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, called it a tragic mistake. US media released images of fragments of weaponry believed to have been used in this attack. It suggests the explosive was American-made.
We still don't want to see the Israelis, as we say, smash into Rafah with large units over large pieces of territory. We still believe that, and we haven't seen that at this point.
In the end, Israel's assertions that its operations in Rafah are limited have failed to convince the International Court of Justice as well as others. Ultimately, what is happening in Rafah echoes much of what has happened across Gaza. Civilians being killed, buildings leveled, and that, if anything, feels rather unlimited.